Look at that mess. Jeez. So, coincidentally, I guess I'll show you some more video. I've been showing you every video about every weekend. I know I'm a little late this weekend, but I had kind of a newsworthy video I did over the weekend that took place of this. So I wanted to show you some of the build, talk to you about some of the things that said that would fail, and sure enough, you know, look at it. If you'll do me a favor though, watch it all the way through at regular speed. I can tell that the majority of the people are watching this in a faster speed. You know, it's a 15-minute video, but my average view duration is like 7 minutes and 30 seconds. If you'll watch it all the way through at regular speed, I really appreciate it. The other thing I would appreciate is if you could give it a thumbs up, leave a little comment that you still like these videos, and then maybe leave a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Today, it's very cold, so what better day to pick to install the wood stove? Now, in a previous video I showed you, we had placed the wood stove on our pavers. We had a 24-hour rain and my tarps leaked, so the floor got wet, so I had to move everything. Floor dried. Well, Carolyn came up here yesterday and she decided to do a little pattern with the pavers. The other thing I was thinking, it was good that it did rain because I decided to put our house wrap paper underneath the floor. Now today what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stove back up here, and then I'm going to actually install the chimney here. I showed that in a previous video. I already got a piece of it on, and I got the box that I got to get set up into the attic. And to give you an idea of what I'm doing here, I've got my stove almost where I want it. I think I want to scoot it back just a little. I'm allowed to have 8 inches from here to here, but I'm also going to have a metal plate that's going to stick out about 1 inch from the wall. Then I've put in my single wall pipe, and then you have your attic box. Up here, I would like to get as close to the roof as possible. That way, insulation and things doesn't fall in. So I'm going to have to make a cut on this pipe. I don't have tin snips, but I do have a grinder, an electric grinder that I can run off my generator. Remember, we're off grid, so I don't have a lot of electric. Solar panels and generators, that's it. Right here, I got it right up to the edge of the rafter. Now all I got to do is frame it around the other 3 sides. Okay, so now I've got it all assembled, well, sitting in place, ready to be assembled. I got the 3 single wall stovepipes. I've got this in its right location, and it's about 11 inches below the ceiling. Once I get the drywall in place, it'll be about 11 inches below. Now all I gotta do is build a 2x4 box around this. So now for the moment of truth, the thing that I've been dreading the most is I got to cut a hole in the roof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crawl up in the attic, and there's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches of space in there. I'm going to hang my chalk line from the roof and find center of the pipe underneath. And once I find center, I can mark a hole up in the roof, drill that hole. All right, so now I'm back up on the roof. Just stuck a little twig right here, so I didn't lose my hole from underneath side. I'm gonna put a screw in this hole, and I'm gonna put a chalk line 6 inches out, and I'm just gonna make a circle. And then I'll cut it out with my jigsaw. Pipe does fit. I have to finish up the overhang. I got to put some OSB on the overhang up here. I'm putting the house wrap on it. Now, a lot of people said, you can't put house wrap on a roof. You can put house wrap on top of the roof. That's exactly what it is. It's a moisture barrier. I mean, people are telling me it's not a moisture barrier. You have to have tar and roofing material. This house wrap is supposed to replace the tar. Down in Florida, my dad is building the house not even a half a mile from the Gulf Coast Ocean where there's hurricanes all the time. By code, he is supposed to use this house wrap, this stuff right here on his roof. I helped him put it on. Now, he put 2 layers on for extra security because, you know, he rode through a hurricane and he realized, you know what, I'd like to have 2 layers of it just in case. Then he put the metal sheeting on top of the house wrap. That's to code in Florida in a hurricane zone. Now, when I was telling you about the 1x4s, that 1x4 will meet up right on that seam. So it occurred to me, I don't need to put 2x4s here, because that 1x4 will do the same job except on the top side. So that's going to save me 2 2x4s. Now, the other thing is people suggested that I should just rework these boards and run them vertically, the OSB. Well, I don't want to do that because I already cut these boards to fit. So I would have to go buy more boards. People are saying, well, you need to save the cost on the 2x4 so you don't have to do that. It would cost me more in OSB to replace the OSB. OSB now is probably 20 bucks a sheet, I'm guessing, but it really went up in price. So 4 times 20, I mean, we're up to 100 bucks. So today should go a lot smoother. You know, I'm gonna get up on the roof. So you may see that I put a 2x4 up on the roof. That helps me walk around a lot better. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring another 2x4 down closer to the bottom. It's just so much easier with a 2x4 there. I'm gonna take those off. I put those 2 up there when I was putting on the other side. It was easier for me to walk around. Sure didn't make the job a lot easier putting the 2x4s up there. And then if everything goes smooth today, I'm gonna put the house wrap on. And I need to kind of get in a hurry. I mean, I still got a few days left, but I'm starting to run out of time. Rain is coming this weekend. This is Wednesday. I gotta put on 2 sheets of OSB on the overhang. I got this side done on both sides. That's already cut. I already got them cut, so I don't have to worry about cutting it right here. So I'm gonna get started just with the mundane work of nailing things down. Okay, so I'm up here underneath the overhang. Give you a little perspective. I know the sunlight's there, but this will give you perspective. So this is the wall, and this right here is the overhang. So I've put a board here, a 1x4, that will be hidden. You won't see this board because I will put a piece of OSB like this. So OSB will come across from the underside of this board to the underside of the overhang here. That will close in this gap, so there won't be any more air coming in once the gutter board is in place. One of the things that has really been bothering me here lately is the comment section. I get so many people, I bet 10 people a day tell me they got 25, 30, 50, you know, 100 years experience doing something, and they seem very authentic and genuine and concerning. And they'll tell me, Rob, you're doing it wrong. And it's just like, okay, how do you have 25 years experience and you're telling me I'm doing it wrong, but when I go to the manufacturer, the website, the manufacturer of the component that I'm working with, you went completely the opposite direction of what the manufacturer told me I needed to do. Yesterday I got a comment, and I really enjoyed this comment. I want to share it with you. Okay, I really enjoy your channel, but I finally disagree with you on something. That it is okay to use a house wrap on the roof. And now, how is this possible? I told everybody, it is to code. You're supposed to use house wrap on the roof. There is no disagreement. This is a house wrap. You cannot disagree. I'm following code. So many people tell me, you're not following code. You're going to tear, the place is going to fall down. You know, I can't tell you how many times people tell me, oh, you got to have a crown cap up there. No, I don't. The building is just not that big. It doesn't need one. It's not that heavy. You got to have a header over here. No, you don't. Everywhere you look, you do not need a header on a non-supporting wall. But I get it every day. Oh, you're missing a header. You know, when I need a header, I got a header. I put a header here. Did it correctly? So this guy continues. He says, you have to have a moisture barrier on the roof. And I thought house wrap was designed to allow moisture to pass through and keep the wind from passing through. And then he did something really incredible. I looked it up so I could correct you. It turns out house wrap is designed to let vapors through but stop liquids. I learned most of the building skills in Houston. This will be an important fact in a minute. I was taught you always have to have a vapor barrier on the roof. So I looked that up. Turns out only need a vapor barrier on roof in a high humid environment. Remember, Houston, not in lower humidity area. Wow. So now I won't try to correct you on this. Boy, I sure am glad I looked this up before I humiliated myself. This guy's a genius. This is what I've been trying to teach you. You got to research. You got to look things up. Okay, so we're up here now on the ladder. This is the soffit plate or the gutter board or whatever you want to call it. And so now it's attached to the edge of the overhang. And now you can see why I had to put the 1x4 there. The 1x4 just simply holds the gutter board. I'm going to put the screws in the pipe today. One of the questions and comments that keeps coming up is this window doesn't have a header. This window does. It has a proper header. The window here, the beam here, sits on another beam right here. Jack stud or jack stand or whatever you want to call it. But this one, I didn't do it because I wanted to save money on 2x6s. So I did an extensive amount of research. Now, maybe I'm not calling this wall correctly, I don't know, but my research tells me this is a non-bearing wall. It doesn't hold a lot of weight. This wall does. So if you look at your rafters, you got 9 rafters coming across, standing on this wall. So anytime you jump up on the roof, for example, all the weight is going to be on this wall and this wall. So you can see I have a header on that. I get comments all the time saying you got to have a header over every window. According to code, that is true. You do have to have a header over every window. My research tells me though that this wall does not sustain near the amount of weight as this wall does. So if a big snowstorm came, you're going to have 9 trusses bearing down a bunch of weight onto this window or onto this wall. This one, however, you only have 1 truss that is also surrounded in plywood, and then you have a 2x6, another 2x6, and this one does have a somewhat of a jack stand. It's not a proper jack stand, but it does hold it. So then you have another 2x6. So you got a lot of 2x6s there holding up 1 truss. Okay, let's look at this logically. This truss is absolutely no different than that truss. I built them exactly the same. However, this one is standing out here in the middle of the room all by itself. It just hangs here. And we already know that this one is going to hold a lot of weight. You jump up on the roof, where's all the weight going to be? Right on those trusses, right? But this one, we don't think that's going to sag. So why is this one going to sag? It's not. There is no weight on that bottom truss. It's not going to put any weight onto this wall. So obviously I was being a little sarcastic. The roof isn't collapsing. It's just that everybody is an expert and they give you their resume. I had some guy give me a resume the other day on something, and there's no way they are right. It's just incredible how people want to talk about something they really don't know what to talk about. When I built this, I was clear. I didn't know how to build tiny houses, and I had to research everything. What was interesting to me is as I'm researching and I'm learning, I've got people telling me incorrect ways of doing things. But it's holding up just fine. It's absolutely amazing that I was able to do this by myself. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a playlist of the tiny house build. I think there's like 150 videos. So if I can inspire you to build your dreams. Thanks for watching.